Guyana's first million barrels of oil successfully lifted, and Education Minister stands in solidarity with teachers. Welcome to InfoHub. It's Tuesday, January 21. It's 40 days to general elections and 33 days to our Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary. Thank you for joining us. All the necessary checks and balances have taken place during the lifting process of Guyana's first shipment of 1 million barrels of light crude to ensure that the country's interests are well protected. This assurance came from the Department of Energy as the MV Yanis set sail for U.S. markets.
As we speak, the MV Yanis is on its way to markets in the United States with Guyana's first shipment of 1 million barrels of light crude.
According to the Department of Energy, the oil tanker successfully lifted Guyana's first shipment of crude under the watchful eyes of the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, GNBS, and the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, who scrutinized the process.
To get a better understanding of why this scrutiny is necessary, InfoHub contacted the Guyana National Bureau of Standards.
It's important for our royalties, it's important for pricing and everything else. It's important for the Guyana Revenue Authority to charge the relevant taxes and duties and royalties as it relates to the crude that we're selling. So like everything else, accurate measurements it's important. It's really important to the systems.
The GNBS, operating under the Ministry of Business, is a semi-autonomous governmental organization responsible for standards and quality in Guyana. It is the only national standards body in the country. When Guyana's oil and gas industry came into being, there was a supplementary document which was gazetted, giving the body the power under Section 18 of the Petroleum Act to conduct checks and balances. Lifts of crude are expected approximately every 10 to 12 days after the first lifting.
Our responsibility on this act is to ensure, ensure that the measuring devices are tested and basically remain accurate. Our responsibility in that regard, we will basically ensure that these calibrations are done like what we previously do, where we conduct the calibrations and the verifications under the Bureau. We do it for the verification of petrol companies, the gas stations, and all of that. In this regard, we just witness the verification.
Oil revenues in this first venture are projected to be approximately US $300 million in the first year and triple in the next 5 years.
So what does Guyanese want? Entrepreneur Ms. Faye Waldron, who plies her trade in the Kitty area, hopes to see more initiatives for young people, while Joan Ramsuk wants all Guyanese to benefit from the oil resources.
They must pay a lot of attention to the youths, right? You got to give the youth the first preference because why? There's a lot of them that need pulling in, guidance, they need training, they need schooling.
Guyana in the general should be developed, everybody. It mustn't be race, it mustn't be no creed or anything, you understand? Everybody should benefit on it.
Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Nicolette Henry, is standing in support of teachers following the recent act of violence against a teacher.
Minister Henry, seen clad in black and white, spent time with Region 10 teachers on Monday, where she pledged her support and stood in solidarity with them.
For all those teachers who are dressed in the black and white, and for those that are in school but not dressed in black and white, I want to say that I stand in solidarity with you. Your government cares about teachers. You are the mainstay of the education sector, and we will do all that we possibly can to ensure that the school is a safe space, not only for our students, but our teachers.
The minister also urged students, parents, and fellow teachers to all have respect for all teachers, who she described as the mainstay of the education system.
In the education sector, I think we need to see people show more love for our teachers.
Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
Still in the education sector, in its bid to enhance the music curriculum, the Education Ministry on Monday presented steel pans to 2 schools in Region 10.
Mackenzie High, a school filled with artistic promise, received over $2 million worth of steel pans to add to their band's collection, while Kokwani Secondary received over $2.2 million worth in steel pans. With the donation of these steel orchestras, the two schools now have a competitive edge for national competitions such as Panorama, held in February as part of the Mashramani celebrations.
As the decade of development continues to unfold, the Ministry of Education, through all of its departments, and in this case the Unit of Allied Arts, continues to enhance expressive arts, music, and all other non-academic skills and behavior.
Minister Henry also assured that her ministry will continue to work to ensure educational activities encompass all aspects of development and are made available to students all across Guyana.
This, of course, is mainly to promote holistic learning with the aim of stimulating and hopefully developing well-rounded individuals who are prepared to function well in the 21st century.
The ministry has already distributed 31 steel bands in the 10 administrative regions. Just last week, 2 Region 6 schools benefited from steel pans. Administrator of the Unit of Allied Arts, Lorraine Barker King, told the teachers and students that the unit will be expanding the scope of music in schools.
We are preparing to have all-rounded children. We are ensuring that music is taught, and not only music, we are also looking at dance, drama, music, visual arts, and physical education and sport.
The expansion of the music curriculum is part of the education sector's plan during the decade of development, piloted by President David Granger. Letitia Isaacs for InfoHub.
With Guyana now officially an oil-producing state and with an increase in the number of vessels on our waters, the Maritime Administration is taking steps to ensure these vessels are inspected in accordance with international regulations.
Head of the Maritime Administration, Director General Claudette Rogers, on the One-on-One program highlighted MARAD's role within the oil and gas sector.
We do verification of the certificates so that a vessel which is definitely going to be a tanker which is going to be calling the FPSO, in advance they have to send that information to the administration, and we can definitely, we'll definitely verify, check to see when was the last time, if there were any non-compliance issues that had to be corrected, when it was corrected, and what exactly that issue was, so that we can definitely give our ticks, because we have a checklist that we use to ensure that this vessel is seaworthy enough to use in that particular, for that particular operation.
Among its widespread functions, MARAD has the responsibility to board vessels under its flag state, port state, and coastal state jurisdictions to conduct inspections. Flag state refers to the duties exercised over vessels that are carrying Guyana's national flag. Port state refers to vessels that possess the flag of a foreign country, and coastal state, vessels that operate within territorial waters or those in exclusive economic zones and on the high seas. For 2019, there has been an increase in these inspections, which are carried out in accordance with the International Maritime Organization standards. Shaquille Moore for InfoHub.
The Mayor and City Council of Georgetown are currently engaged in massive desilting of the drains in Alexander Village, and residents are already experiencing the benefits.
So the silting exercise, which runs from Hunter Street to Public Road, is being carried out by contractor and a resident of the community, Kwesi Hamilton, at a cost of $4 million. Hamilton said that the work should be completed in 2 weeks.
We are desilting, cleaning all debris and all rubbish in the area that blocking the water flow, because First Street is a street known to flood since the rain drip. So them don't see an improvement because the rain fall overnight and we ain't really got much settlement on the road.
Mayor of Georgetown, His Worship Ubrach Narain, visited the area to assess the ongoing works.
The Honorable Minister Ronald Bulkan had paid a visit here in Alexander Village a few months ago, and he promised the resident that he was going to do some work and try to get some funding for the council to execute some work. And I can assure the resident of Alexander Village, the Honorable Minister Ronald Bulkan stood to his words. I must say that the resident of Alexander Village passing through earlier have given that assurance, and they're very happy to see some work is going on in Alexander Village.
Mayor Ryan explained that the works had been planned since last year, but the funds were only recently released. Similar projects are expected to be carried out in constituencies 1, 14, and 15 in the coming weeks. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
When the news returns, new national strategic plan to end AIDS being drafted and Bunty Singh eyeing third Chutney crown. Details of these and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Guyana has set a new target to end AIDS by 2030. In this regard, the National AIDS Program Secretariat is partnering with its stakeholders to draft a National Strategic Plan 2021 to 2025 to ensure more persons know their status, access treatment, and achieve viral suppression.
The new strategic plan will, among other things, seek to scale up efforts to achieve a new 95% target of ensuring persons know their status and, if positive, get on treatment and achieve viral suppression. Minister of Public Health Waldo Lawrence has said Guyana has achieved several notable milestones due to collaborative efforts between several stakeholders.
Some of the milestones include adopting combination prevention, introduction of pre-exposure prophylaxis, and HIV treatment through a private-public partnership with private physicians. And we certainly need to extend that. Extended clinic hours at the country's largest treatment site, piloting of social contracting, achieving universal coverage for HIV testing among pregnant mothers, the gradual scale-up of index testing and provider-initiated testing, and the provision of more potent HIV medicines, to mention a few.
PANCAP representative Dr. Shanti Singh has noted that while there is much to expect in the new plan, during the course of the last strategic plan, which lasted 2013-2020, much has been put in place and achieved by the Ministry of Public Health towards ending the AIDS epidemic.
As you go into the review of the previous National Strategic Plan, I'd really like to congratulate Guyana on two high-level achievements that I have observed in the Global AIDS Monitoring Report. The first one is that Guyana is the only country in the Caribbean that has achieved the first 90 of people knowing their HIV status. The second achievement, which is really significant and important as well, is Guyana is among a few countries in the region that's on its way to achieving the second 90.
In the new National Strategic Plan, focus will be placed particularly on targeting the youth population and redesigning service intervention to meet the set-out targets. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
Local singer Bunty Singh is looking to grab the Chutney crown for a third time with his song She Want Me Be She Raja, which speaks of a faithful husband upholding his vows despite receiving unwanted attention.
Chatting with InfoHub, Bunty Singh explained that he comes from a musical background which he often relies on and which has helped him to grow as an artist.
My father is a musician and a singer, and we've been introduced into music from, I got good sense at the age of 5, 6, I started playing drum. And then I was allowed to use my father's stereo. That's like in 1997. And my type of music that I listen to is Trinidad music. And this guy from Soca Paradise Band, Delina Dan, that's the name for it now, Raymond Ramnarine. That's the guy who I really was interested in his vocals. And he had a captivating vocal to my ear.
Singh first entered the competition in 2009 where he finished 4th, then 3rd in 2015 before winning the crown in 2016. However, he lost the crown in 2017 before copying it a second time in 2018. He then placed 2nd in 2019.
In 2009, when I entered Chutney competition, I was placed the most promising artist with one of my biggest tunes. You know that? I drinking whole day in the bar, That is a big tune. I took part 4 years after. I didn't gain any space, but I never give up because I wanted to win. I want to know what's the feeling to win because I see other Fiona Singh, Harish Singh, they captured the title, Rajesh Dobraj also. So I told myself I could make this.
Apart from being a vocalist, Bounty Singh is also the owner of a recording studio called Bounty Chris, BKVJ, recording studio at Shilltown. The Chutney Monarch semi-finals will be held on February 7th at the Skeldon Heritage Park. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
As we prepare for Elections Day on March 2, if you haven't done so as yet, check to ensure your name is on the revised list of electors. Voting is your democratic right. That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.